Welcome to the show radio. And now, here is your host, Andrew Alliance.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to this episode of the show radio. This is episode 238 of the show radio. I'm your host, Andrew. I am the host and editor-in-chief of the show radio. You can find me at theshowradio.info. While you're there, definitely check out my past shows. You can subscribe at theshowradio.info/iTunes. I'm actually really excited about this episode. This episode's actually been 2 years in the making, if you believe that. I've actually been talking to Amy for about that long. I think we actually met at a Samsung event, which we briefly talked about during the show. And ever since then, we've been keeping in contact and saying what's up and all that good stuff on social media. But but before I get to all that, welcome to the show. If you're listening from north, south, east, west, I'm definitely glad that you're here. I'm excited that you're here. Thanks for listening. And it's been really interesting. I actually have something I definitely want to share with you before we go into the interview. But before I do that, let's do sponsors. My sponsors, ProXPN, Audible, and Bluehost. ProXPN, head over to theshowradio.info. /ProXPN. I kind of drew a blank there. And use the promo code SHORAM for 20% off of the lifetime of your account. The next one's Audible. Audible has over 150,000 audiobooks to choose from. Get your first audiobook free with a 30-day trial. Sign up today at theshowradio.info/audiobook. And there's plenty of books there. I mean, I'm sure you have a favorite. I'm not going to suggest any. Maybe I should. Platform by Michael Hyatt. That's a good one. How to Win Friends and Influence People is a eternal classic. Definitely check those out. And last but not least, Bluehost, built on open source technology and one of the world's largest providers of cloud-based online solutions. The Show Radio is powered by Bluehost. Sign up at theshowradio.info/Bluehost. So here we are. Amy Rivard. She's like a superstar, right? You know, I've definitely enjoyed the conversation I had with her. You're going to enjoy the conversation as well. So I'm definitely going to, talk to you today because I usually talk to the people who come on, but I never talk to you. You're definitely going to enjoy this conversation. You're definitely going to fall in love with her like I did. Ever since I met her, I think it's been refreshing. You know, it's just one of those individuals you meet, you're like, you know what? I want you in my life forever. And I don't want you to leave. And I think I even made that clear during the interview. But before we get to this particular interview with Amy Rivard, I definitely want to give a couple of things about her. She is an award-winning Canadian singer and songwriter. She's also an actress. She has an award-winning webisode series called What's Up Canuck, starring Candy Canadiana, or Canadiana, depending how you want to say that. She's a former Riverdancer. She's a former Celtic Woman. She also wrote her one-woman cabaret, which you can see across the globe on SilverSea 6-star cruise lines. She is classically trained, so she could sing. She could, like, off the cuff. She's dope. All right, so I'm excited about this one because I was thinking last night, like, a lot of companies sell things and a lot of personal brands sell things as well. And I was like, okay, so I know Uber is really popular. Everyone's talking about Uber. But I want you to think about this for a second. What does Uber sell, right? They sell, what do you think? What would you say they sell? Some would say convenience. Some would say some other things. But what Uber sells is Uber sells time, right? Because once you do the thing with Uber with your phone, you know for a fact that you're not going to wait 3 to 5 minutes, 7 to 9 minutes for a cab. So Uber sells time. One of the things that I really like about Amy is one of the things that Amy sells is authenticity. And ever since I met her, immediately you could tell that she's an authentic person. She's about her business, doing what she can for her brand and all those things. So that sold me because I love individuals who sell authenticity. It just comes off of them and there's nothing that they can do about it. So ever since, I've been, vibing with her on and off line and stuff like that, it's definitely been, a journey of just, watching her be who she is. And I think we all, can be like that. some people aren't, they put up a front for who they are, who they're not, and stuff like that. But, we kind of work through that. And there's some individuals that we just don't want to be around because they put up a front, and Amy's completely the opposite of that. You want to be around her, you want to say what's up to her and stuff like that. And I definitely appreciate, this thing. So another thing I'll say too is she did mention that she's looking for a web developer. So I'm even going to personally reach out to her and see if I can get, some individuals in my circle to help her out with the web developer thing. So you can definitely check her out at amyrivard.com, which is spelled AMYRIVARD.com. And she's looking for a web developer. And yeah, I'm not kidding. I'm actually going to go reach out to some of my peeps and be like, yo, I got, people that, looking for some work done to their website. If you're down to do that, that'd be awesome. Just let me know and we can make that happen, do the introductions and stuff like that. So, that's what it's about, helping people if you can. But if you have that network, is definitely something to, give to individuals who are, looking for help in any way, shape, or form. So definitely enjoy this interview. You are going to enjoy it. You are going to fall in love with her like I did. Amy Rivard, check it out. So you are a superstar. So we're talking. We didn't even introduce you yet. So I definitely want to do a formal introduction. Okay.
Okay.
So right now we're speaking to Amy Rivard. She's an award-winning Canadian singer.
Hello.
And songwriter. She's awesome. Okay. She's beautiful and awesome. Okay. So I want to say this. I want to give this quick story because we met at the Samsung event. I believe they were releasing an S4 or give or take something.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah, something.
And you were doing your thing at the event, and then we kind of vibed, and I'm like, she's pretty cool. There needs to be more people like that. Like you're just you're always smiling. I've never seen you not smile, which is great. I don't want you're always smiling, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful. So I just want to say, welcome to the show. Glad to have you. I know you're a former Riverdancer. I know you did the Celtic Woman thing, which is amazing. And you did the cabaret for the SilverSea 6-star cruise line. You did that.
Uh-huh.
And you are a superstar. You're classically trained.
Thank you.
You're amazing. So all this stuff. Okay, so here you are, and I know we've been meaning to talk for a while, but we've definitely been keeping in touch on social media. So it's definitely an honor to have you here.
Honor to be here.
Yes. Fantastic. So what's up? So Subway music, what else? Do you hip hop, techno? Do you do any other music?
I love classics. Like I love Joni Mitchell. I love Carole King. Hip hop, techno, no, but I recently started working with some guys in England, and they do a lot of like dance music. And so we've been, they'll send me a beat or a track, and then I will put something onto, I'll make up some lyrics and some vocals. And so we just started doing that. We've got one on my SoundCloud, and then I just sent him a recording that I made from my Mac here the other day. That's why the sound was, we couldn't hear each other at first.
We'll work it out.
Okay, I had to fix that. Thank you for knowing how to use a computer better than I do. And what else? So, because I come from a theatrical background, so most of my music, it either has a story or I call my music theatrical pop.
I love your music. Talk about the experience from the school. Based on what I was looking at, the school that you were accepted into was only like 12 students a year, and you were one of those students. Talk about that experience.
Yeah, I was really fortunate that at the time, the only musical theater university degree, you guys call it college, we call it university, was in my hometown. So I didn't get in the first year. I was on the waiting list, and then I got a scholarship for the opera program, and I thought, I'm taking the money instead of waiting to see if I would get into musical theater. And then, after a year of doing that, I was like, I don't know. I think I really want to do this musical theater thing. And another girl, she was like, yeah, I didn't get in, but I'm going to try again. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to try too. And then I got in, and I'm grateful for the classical training that I have. And we still got classical training in the musical theater program. Just the theater was more, I want to do the acting and really, and not that you don't act in opera, but it was more more personal to me. I enjoyed it more. And, and then the musical theater program, my friend Leah, who was just here a minute ago.
Hi, Leah.
She's gone now.
Yeah, I know she is.
We can talk about her. I'm kidding. But we went to theater school together, and she's living on my couch for a couple months. So,
nice.
New York City living.
Nice. So talk about your vocal specs. What ranges can you hit? I know, for individuals who are in that kind of realm, give that language. What is that? What can you hit?
I try not to pay attention to it because then I don't want to worry, but I've got to look at a computer. I mean, not the computer, my keyboard now. So I can go like 2 octaves, like a high E above middle C.
Okay.
So maybe like a 3-octave range maybe there.
Okay, so explain to me, Amy, what does that mean?
That means I can sing really low and I can sing really high.
Very cool.
I'm certain it's very annoying for my neighbors when I'm singing a high opera song like Glitter and Be Gay, which I think you might have seen on my YouTube channel, because we have very thin walls here. So yeah, I'm sure they don't enjoy listening to my high voice.
So now your playlist, I watched and listened to the playlist. I think you had 28 items on there. So I went back. Okay. Uh-huh. So I'm informed. I've been doing my homework.
Yeah.
Okay. I've watched all the videos. I know you did a piece on ESPN. You did the commercials for the bug company.
Great.
Yeah, you did that. So I did my homework. I got to do my homework. To make sure that I represent you well. So some of these things now. Do you still do the pledges and stuff at the event still? Is that something that you're always up to doing, or is it's just whatever?
Like, what do you mean the pledges at events?
Like, because you did the ESPN piece, they invite you to sing, and do you still do those? Or
I don't do the anthems so much lately.
Mm-hmm.
I might. I just haven't had the time. I did the anthems for the New York Rangers and at Madison Square Garden, which was great, and then for NASCAR, which was awesome. But I haven't done it in a couple of years. They I feel like they get new people all the time. They want fresh talent. Is my guess, except for the Rangers. They have like their regular guy, and then when he needs someone to fill in, they'll do that. What else? I think I've been really mostly concentrating on my own music lately, writing my songs, trying to get them out there. I'm even open to pitching them to other artists. It's just time I want to make some money from them.
Right.
You run out of it. I spent half my rent doing a CD release the other day,
Happy birthday. What day was it?
Well, it was January 22nd.
Awesome. January 22nd?
Yeah.
Mine's the 19th. Really?
Yay, happy birthday to us.
Happy birthday.
Yay. Yeah, but we did the CD release much later. A month later.
Yeah, because I was like, the album was released.
Oh,
the album was released the 13th of February 2014. Right? I did my homework, right?
Yeah, and you did.
And you were surprised by Danny DeVito, who sung you Happy Birthday recently?
That was an event, a charity event I was working at, and I was coming downstairs with him at the end, and my coworkers surprised me with a cake, and he didn't know it was my birthday. And he was like, "Wow, it's your birthday!" There's a really cute photo of him with that expression on, and then he's saying "Happy Birthday" to me along with everybody else, and then we had some cake, and it was great.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Very cool. Okay, so what's going on with Amy now? So roll me back 72 hours. What were you doing 72 hours to now? What have you been up to?
I have a dog sitting job that that has me pretty much booked until the end of April. Okay. And that helps to support my singing and acting and my rent. Okay. And what else? I finished, I was just recording that track for the guys in England, hence my computer glitch there.
No problem.
And I made a sweet potato mash for dinner last night. It was very exciting.
Okay. So are you a cooker or baker?
Not really. Okay. It's like, broccoli for dinner, and maybe I'll throw a can of tuna in there. Or, when you're cooking for one, it's just keep it simple. What else? I love chia seeds. Those are very good for you. High in omega-3s, and they help you I don't know, absorb water better. I don't know. Something. I read all those health things, and you got to believe everything you find on Google, of
Of
course.
course you do.
What else? And then right now, actually, this morning I was going through. I hired someone to record my CD release, and he did like a nice compilation video that I'm just trying to, shorten it. And I was listening to that, see which parts I like, and then I'll use that to pitch, to get other gigs. Because ideally, I would prefer to, instead of doing all these like random jobs, dog sitting and promotional work and cater waitering and all that, I would, if I could get a couple permanent restaurant gigs at night and make money from that, and then in the day I can create, that'd be pretty awesome.
That's awesome.
So I've got a few, restaurant gigs where they actually pay, which is nice. But those are like few and far between. So it's just trying to find those, because, I didn't pay $10,000 for my green card to, come and, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what
Yeah.
you mean. Okay, so you mentioned cooking for one. So I'm listening. For one? No, where's the dude?
I don't know. You tell me. Find him.
Where's the dude, Amy? You're beautiful. You're
Thank you.
where's the dude?
I think I work too much and I just don't have time.
Okay.
And then I think too, because I spent 10 years on the road touring with different shows, you'd meet people and it's like, hey, I leave tomorrow morning. Nice to meet you, or I leave in a week. And it's hard. It was really hard to, it's hard to maintain a relationship on the road sometimes. But then when I moved here, I'm just working so much that it's little impossible sometimes. And when you're on the subway, if you see somebody attractive, I want the man to come to me.
True.
You know what I mean?
True.
Like, come over and talk to me. I don't want to go to you.
Okay. I mean, I don't think you should have a problem with that, but
Oh, thank you. But do the manly thing.
that's right.
I don't know. I read those books. What is it? He's just not that into you. If he doesn't make the move, I don't know.
Yeah, you don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
They say that he's supposed to make all the moves. He should pursue you.
He's supposed to.
Yep. So I won't pursue anymore.
So you're waiting. So what's the ideal, I guess, relationship for you? What's ideal for, because you wrote the song, for your husband.
Yes, I did. You're the one.
Yeah.
I hope he sees it and calls me and pursues me.
So what's ideal for you?
Funny, my friend and I were just talking about this last night. Obviously, someone who's honest, has values, morals.
What kind of values? What kind of morals?
Doing the right thing, being a good person, caring about other people. So obviously not being self-absorbed, having self-love, and also someone that can talk about their problems and work it through. Someone that's deep, I don't want to make a generalization.
Well, yeah. What's deep? See, because I have to probe
Right.
now. Do you mean
Right.
theologically deep, philosophically
I think
deep, politically deep,
Very good.
emotionally deep?
I think emotionally deep. Like if I would prefer if, let's say, he was having a bad day or something I know men have to go to their man cave for a bit. I got to go to my woman cave.
You have one?
Yeah, we were going to do this interview in my closet. Because I was afraid it was going to be too noisy with my friend living here, but she's gone now. So, but I think, no, my woman cave is my apartment. There's some days I just need to be left alone, sit it out, and then think, gather my thoughts. But to go back, someone that he can come up to me and talk to me about his problems. This happened at work today. I'm upset. And then able to talk about our problems as human beings, not to hold stuff in and say, this bothered me. Can we talk this through? Because in this world, it's really about speaking our truth and being honest. And I read this great quote the other day. If you don't speak your own truth, like you could be a really intelligent person, but if you don't speak your truth, you're actually really stupid. And I know I didn't say that the right way.
It's all right.
More poetically.
We'll work with it.
Yeah, but something along those lines,
So now there's the introvert, the extrovert, and the ambivert. The introvert gets energy when they're alone.
Yes.
The extrovert is when they're around people.
Yes.
And the amber is a hybrid of them both. What are you?
I'm a hybrid.
Amy? You're a hybrid. I could tell.
Yeah.
I could tell. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Did you always know?
I think so, yeah. Yeah. Even as a kid, my mom was like, yeah, you would just go up in your room and do your own thing, you know? And yeah, I think I always knew that. I'm a mixture of everything.
That's cool. So what made you move to NY? What made that journey?
It's the greatest city in the world.
It's true. It's true.
For entertainment, it's really the place you need to be. I love Canada. As you know, I have an alter ego named Candy Canadiana.
I do.
Yes, but but I feel like New York was calling me. I think a lot of people feel that. And I'd lived in Toronto. I lived in Japan. I do love Japan, though. That's another place I would go back to in a heartbeat.
Is that where you got your passion for, your inspiration for like the Disney light tracks that you do?
No, I think that was just because from my theater background.
That was from the theater.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Actually, the first track that I wrote, "A Best Friend and Me," the guy who produced it, he said, "Oh, he's like, you're a Disney girl. You should be doing Disney stuff. All your music is Disney." Well, that was the first song, but he's like, "You're
Right.
Disney." And vocally, I guess I'm Disney because a lot of the Disney singers are theater singers. Like Idina Menzel is a theater singer. Judy Kuhn, she did Pocahontas, I believe. These were all theater people that then transferred to recording songs for Disney cartoons and movies.
Now, do you like when you're not necessarily typecast? I don't know if that's even the right term for this, but do you object to that when people say like you're Disney and you're?
It's a little challenging, yes, because you don't want to pigeonholed into one thing. And I did my show with my show. My friend and I were watching the videos, and he said, well, one, and I've been told this my whole life, you need to get rid of your vibrato to do pop music or to do stuff that's on the radio. And I'm thinking,
Okay, define that for me, vibrato.
Vibrato. So
Yeah.
instead of singing a note so here's a note with vibrato. Ah,
Okay.
and then no vibrato would be ah.
Gotcha.
And so I've been trained to have vibrato in my voice, and my understanding, what I was taught, is the vibrato helps you to keep the pitch. So now I'm being asked to straight tone and have no vibrato, and I find it very difficult because, you know, I've trained my voice to sing a certain way and what I feel is a healthy way, and it's just automatic. So now they're saying change your singing voice. You can sing. The fact that you can sing is a bad thing, and I'm like, great. And then I get pissed off. So yeah, that's a challenge.
So, did you ever teach music?
I've taught a little bit, like
Okay.
younger kids I've taught. When I was living in Toronto, I did that, but I haven't done any since I've moved to New York yet. But I'd be open to it, yeah.
Okay, sweet. All right, so now I know we haven't really talked about trials and stuff like that. So low points. Give me one or two low points that you're willing to share.
Yeah.
You know?
I think I do that in a lot of my songs too. You can hear those low points.
And and funny you say that because there's a track where you actually kind of like cried towards the end.
Yeah. Oh,
And I always wanted to ask you, what was that about?
Wait, which one was it? Was it
Let me see.
actual recording or the video?
One moment, please.
Oh, I know.
My notes. Take me to the world. Is that take me to? No, it's one that you were wearing a blue dress, and then you sat down, and then you kind of like, you know, your last note wasn't even
Yeah, I think it's Joni Mitchell's "Both Sides Now." It's a YouTube video.
It is a YouTube video.
Yes, yeah.
So what happened there? Talk to me there.
That song.
Give me something.
Singing that song speaks to me so much, and
Why?
that's probably the first time I ever got through the song without crying. I mean, I did kind of cry at the end.
You did.
So I didn't think I was going to be able to sing it. We were rehearsing that for months, and every time I sang that song, I would break down.
Why?
Because I think it, for me, both.
You want to sing a little bit? You can if you want.
I know. Oh man. But what if I start in the wrong key? I'm kidding. I've looked at life through both sides now,
That's
from
it.
win and lose, and still somehow it's life's illusions I recall. I really don't. Oh yeah, okay. Now I know why I cried. Okay, for me, it feels like sometimes I feel like I'm not really. I don't know life. Life is so challenging. It's so hard, and the song for me represents the times when I've been depressed in my life and down about relationship. I got to look at the lyrics now. Now I'm really.
Yeah, I want to know.
I'm
I
not
want to know.
explaining myself well enough here.
It's all right. It's all right. I'm having a great time chatting with you. So
thank you. Me too. And she's so poetic, Joni Mitchell. I mean, if I could, she just says stuff, and I'm like, oh wow, that's so much more clever than I would have. She's brilliant. She's Canadian too.
What's up with you Canadians? A lot of beautiful people come out of Canada. I noticed that. What's up with that?
I don't know.
It's
Mike Myers is pretty beautiful too. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Okay. Here we go. So, she says, moons and Junes and Ferris wheels, the dizzy dancing way you feel. As every fairy tale comes real, I've looked at love that way. We all fall in love. It's wonderful. And then it goes really bad. And then,
you see what you do. You see, you give me questions. Okay. Have you ever been in love, Amy?
Once.
Okay.
And it did not work out.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Sadly, it was bad timing.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, only one person. Well, and I have my high school sweetheart. I loved him, but that was a younger love. I'm talking about an adult love.
Well,
okay.
What's considered adult? Because you're like 21 now. 21.
This is true.
21,
I just started drinking for the first time.
For the first time.
Yeah. It's a weird thing. Well, adult love, I guess. Yeah, older than 20. For those that are older than 21.
Right. Understood.
Yeah. But back to her lyric, she's like, but now it's just another show. You leave them laughing when you go, and if you care, don't let them know. Don't give yourself away. So then in that, it reminds me of times when I don't want to let someone know that I think I care. Yeah, I don't want to be completely vulnerable because I don't want to get hurt again. And then
that's fair.
Yeah. And then, she says, I really don't know love at all. Yeah. Sometimes that's the way you feel. So there's certain things happen. And then, I think it's just, I really don't know life at all. I find that line like, I don't know life at all. I think I'm doing everything right, but so why aren't things going the way I want them to? I think that's it. I said this the other day to a friend. I said, God, like that person, and I know we're not supposed to compare. We're all on different journeys. But I said to someone, this one person did all the wrong things and like in my, no morals, and now that they've got this going on in their life, and I'm like, but I do everything right.
It's not weird though?
Yes. And I find that, and I'm like, life's not fair. Like, life's not fair. Or is it? I don't know. And I just find that challenging. It bothers me. I'm like, but I'm a good girl. I do the right thing. I'm good to people.
You are.
Well, thank you. Why, I've tried really hard. Why isn't it not here yet?
It's right there. You know what they say. If you stop now, then it's tomorrow. Exactly.
Yeah. And and someone has asked me before, do you ever think of quitting? And yeah, totally.
You can't.
You can't quit, but of course I think about it because I think, oh my God, I've invested so much time, so much money. Okay, I've got some YouTube videos and I've got some recordings, but in the survival world, what is that doing for me? And I know we should just do it for the love of it. And I'm very fulfilled when I do it. And when I
think you'd be miserable if you stopped. I don't think
would.
And maybe that's judging, straight across. That's, but I think, because that's who you are. Right. It's embedded in the fabric of your being. I don't think you can actually stop and be okay. I agree.
And there's times, when I'm just like completely doing a survival job and I'm miserable because I'm not singing. I don't have time to create. I don't, it's not fun.
Right. Do you sing through those jobs? The different jobs that you do that do not involve singing and songwriting?
Do I sing when I'm doing that?
Yeah, like do you hum to yourself? Like do you,
Sometimes,
sometimes.
but in public, people might think you're crazy.
Right.
You'll get fired, and then you can't pay your rent. So yeah, I try to stay away from doing that on the job.
But I mean, but even looking at, the things that we have for you online now, you're accomplished. You've done so much.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so pimp out your stuff. So pimp out the stuff that you've done that people are probably not aware.
Okay,
of.
so you can find all of my original music you can search Amy Rivard, AMY, and then RIVARD. You can find me on all digital mediums. I make more money if you buy it off of iTunes.
Okay.
And if you want to listen to it on Spotify, just put it on a constant loop, because every 5 times a song is played, I make 2 cents.
Nice.
Just, put it in your house, put it on in your restaurant or your shop, and keep playing my music and help me pay my rent.
Yes.
Thank you very much. This is a public service announcement from Amy Rivard.
Definitely. Okay, so Cashmere 2005?
Yeah.
Okay, so I believe, I may be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, that every album is a different stage in someone's life, right?
Yes.
Just like every show that I produce real time is a different,
Yeah.
mindset or whatever. So we're going to walk through Cashmere, Shout It Out, 2011, and then Where I Am, 2014.
Yes.
Right? Okay, so 2005, what was going on there, and talk about that album.
Moved to Toronto, and there was a jazz trio singing on the street, and I met the guitarist. I went up to him, and he claims that I said, he claims that he asked me to sing with them. I claim I asked to sing with him. Anyhow, so I sang with them on the street, and then he and I kept in touch, and then he said, well, do you want to do an album? So he produced the jazz album for me, and I put the one original, Cashmere, on it, but then the rest of them are standards. And, he was the first one to really help me talk to me about getting rid of the vibrato and less theater voice. So I have to say, I feel like that's the voice I should be using. On my last couple albums, I did a lot of the belty theater stuff, and I love the songs, but maybe they're not necessarily for me. Maybe I can pitch them to another artist, but I feel like I really liked the sound on that album. It's smooth, it's sultry, and it's a lot easier to sing than belting your face off all the time. Like, God bless poor Idina Menzel. It's got to belt Let It Go everywhere she goes, because, I've tried to sing that in my apartment, and I was like, yeah, I don't want to do that. I wouldn't want to do 8 shows a week of that.
So what does Amy sound like singing that?
She sounds like still a little soprano-y. It's a mix of belt and soprano voice. Yeah. I'm not warmed up for it now, so I would do it. But
no problem.
It could give me a bleeding vocal cord,
We don't want that. Okay, so why the big gap between Cashmere and Shout It Out, 2011?
Oh, because then
because the movie thing happened too, like somewhere between that.
Oh, but right after that, I moved to Japan, and I sang at Tokyo Disney for a year. Well, 6 months here, went away for 4 months, went back. Then I did after Tokyo Disney, Celtic Woman came to town, and a lot of my friends from Riverdance were in it, and I went to see the show, and they said, do you want to, somebody's leaving, would you want to be in the show? And I was like, I don't know, I already did that. I did the Irish show tour thing. I want something new. And then I was like, I don't want to be out of a job. So I auditioned, and then I got it, which was great. So I flew from Japan to my hometown, Windsor, Ontario, Canada, was home in Canada for 3 days. Then I flew straight to Ireland for rehearsals, and then I flew back to Canada on my birthday. So I had my birthday on a plane.
Very cool.
I should have told the airline pilots so they could
celebrate and give you a cake while you're up there.
Give me an extra bag of nuts or something.
So Shout It Out 2011.
Yeah.
That happened.
Yeah.
So what was the vibe on that? What was the mindset on that?
So I had just moved to New York. I was really excited about it, and was doing the indie music scene, and knew a guy that was just starting out, wanted to do some producing, and Carry Me was the first track. Now that's my really depressed song. I was really sick.
It's one of my favorites, actually.
Thank you. It's my favorite. It's my baby.
Really?
Yeah, I'd say that. It's my baby. So it's the first song I wrote when I was in New York, and I don't know if it's like New York's way of initiating you when you move to the city, but I had the flu like 9 times in a year and a half. It was unbelievable. And unfortunately, and I was like, oh my God, what's wrong with me? Oh God, go get all my blood tests, everything. But a lot of people have told me that when they first moved to New York, you get all those bugs because it's the first time you're being exposed to them. You're on the subway with all these people, and if your body hasn't, had them, that's what they claim. And I'm sure I wasn't eating very well at the time either because I'm a horrible cook.
You make stuff.
I do. It's just really boring. It's just boring and bland, but it's fine. Whatever. So I was like, oh my God, what, why am I getting sick all the time? And then I had lost my voice, because coughing is really not good for your voice. And so I had laryngitis, or maybe I damaged my cords.
What's good for your voice? Water?
Water's
What do you?
Good.
Okay.
Water's very good. Not coughing. Clearing your throat is really bad for your voice.
Really?
Yeah. Whispering is very bad for your voice. Shouting in a bar. That's enough. So you said, why don't you have a boyfriend? I don't go to bars a lot because I can't go to a bar or a loud restaurant and try and have a conversation with someone over music. I'm not going to do it because it ruins my vocal cords. So that's what I hate about today's society too. Everything's got to be so loud. Even I went to a place in Chelsea, a restaurant, and we walked in and it was so loud. I walked straight right out because I'm not going to do that. I'm coming to communicate with people, not shout at them. It's just weird society. I think I was born in the wrong time or something.
Don't they have a special spot for that though, where you can actually maybe a small lounge area that's sound, I guess, absorbed?
No, I think there was some sort of I bet you can find online, but people think that restaurant owners and whatever think that if it's loud, people will come in. Like, why do I have to go to H&M and listen to a DJ on Saturdays when I'm shopping? I got to shout, do you have a small in this? A small over the unchika, unchika, unchika beat, right?
You don't want to do that?
No, I don't. I just want to go in, find the damn small, pay for it.
Right.
I have to shout. I'm not going to start dancing for them, It's like, come on. And hire some other musicians, and at least we won't be as loud. I don't know.
They should hire you, right?
Yes, that would be fine. And I would keep it kind of quiet. I'd be like musical wallpaper so people can enjoy me if they want, or just go buy their small shirt or whatever size, So, yeah.
So between Shout It Out and Where I Am, 3 years.
Oh, we didn't finish the Carry Me story. My favorite song, My Baby.
I love that one.
Sick. Thanks. So I was sick and I gave up. I was like, I can't do this anymore. And I mean, I believe in a God, a higher power, and I have a mug, one of my favorite.
See, why do you do this? Now I have questions. What's your theological, philosophical perspective on life and stuff related to stuff like that?
Well, I mean, I think I was raised Catholic.
I was too.
Yeah. And I love a lot of things in the Catholic religion. There are some things that I disagree with.
Okay.
I think we're at a point, I don't think that religion should separate people. I think it should bring people together. And I'm finding that organized religion doesn't really do that. So I kind of,
Okay, so can I disagree with you?
Yeah.
I'm going to disagree because we're together.
Yeah.
And I'm in organized religion. So does that apply?
Okay, so
because if organized religions, based on what you said, doesn't bring people together to some degree.
Oh, okay, that's true. Yeah, you can. Yeah,
I'm with you right now.
Right, that's true. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I disagree, Amy.
Okay, but I mean, I think
is that fair?
Yeah, that's fair. I guess one of the things
I know what you mean, but you know what I mean.
Like, for example, the Catholic religion says that homosexuality is a sin. And I have a plethora of friends who are homosexual who I love and adore, and they are in fabulous, loving 30, 40-year relationships. And what's wrong with that? It's a beautiful thing. Two people that love each other, they're not harming anybody. why should I care their sexual preference? I don't give a crap as long as they're doing something good. We should be spending our time, battling against people who are in the wrong relationships, like people that are abusive. Like, why don't we focus on that instead of judging people because of their? Do you know what I'm trying to say?
I know what you're trying to say.
Yeah. So
I know what you're trying to say.
But
I have so much to say on it.
I know.
You know, as a preacher. But I think we'll save that for another show.
Okay, and we didn't finish the Carry Me story.
We have to finish the Carry Me story because I have a few more things.
I'm sick. I lost my voice, and I'm in the kitchen, and I grabbed my mug out of the cupboard, and it was the Footprints mug. Anonymous. The anonymous poem Footprints. And at the end, I was looking at it and I was really upset. And it says, and it was then that I carried you. And I got pissed off. I looked up at God and I was like, oh yeah? It was then that you carried me? You carried me? Oh, thank you. And then I wrote the song right then and there.
It's a beautiful song.
Thank you. And I was like, okay, thank you. Gotcha. You're there. I'm reading you, Big G.
Oh my goodness.
All
right. So you have 3 years between Shout It Out and Where I Am. Why? Why 3 years?
Money. I couldn't afford to make another album. I did a Kickstarter, and that was amazing. And then it took a little bit longer because I had to take some out-of-town work. So I ended up producing or recording a couple of the songs in LA with the guy who was mixing or mastering the songs. So it was just trying to fit the survival jobs in and financial situation with doing what I love, making music.
Very cool. Okay, so now you don't game at all, right? No gaming for you?
No way. I hate games.
You hate games? Why? Why do you hate games?
I don't have time, and this is something.
You don't want to shoot anybody or jump around like Mario or anything like that? Or play Tetris?
Super Mario was a fun one. I've done that. The Pac-Man, all that. I just don't have time. Like my friends, let's go play a board game. No, I got work to do.
So when do you sleep? How much sleep do you get? 3-4 hours?
Oh no, I get my sleep. I like my 9 hours.
You like 9 hours? Wow.
Oh yeah. But I think I need to sleep less because I could get more work done.
That's solid 9 hours. That's pretty good.
You got to get your beauty sleep, man. I don't look like this for nothing.
I agree.
Just kidding.
I definitely agree. Okay, so movies.
All those Botox and plastic surgery.
You don't need that.
Oh, thank you.
You don't need that.
You know my secret?
What's your secret, Amy?
My secret is I take off my eye makeup remover with either coconut oil or sunflower oil, olive oil, not the expensive olive oil because that should be eaten, and I try and use more natural stuff, like stuff that's just God-made, not man-made with chemicals.
Okay, well, whatever you're using, keep using it. Don't change a thing. So what's up with movies? No more movies for you?
You know what? I would like to do some more movies, but I don't have an agent in the city, and I'm looking for an agent. But I don't really find out about TV or film auditions because I don't have an agent. There's some websites you can try and, submit your stuff and I paid however much money a year to do that and you submit. And I just found it wasn't really worth spending all that money and submitting and getting 3 auditions a year. So once I get a real live human being agent that can get me some auditions, then maybe I can do some more movies and commercials.
Okay, very cool. So you did Planting Vines 2011 and Saving Grace in 2010. You did some other things.
Yes.
Your IMDb has a lot of different things on it, which I'll definitely link in the show notes. So that's still a passion of yours, definitely something that you want to continue pursuing?
Yeah. It was, and the people I were working with, they're called Suede Productions. And I remember going home to my folks and saying, if I could work with these people every day for the rest of my life, I would be happy. They just do phenomenal work. They respect each other, just really good people. When you find good people, you want to be around them.
I do. Yeah. I do. Like you, Amy. Don't leave.
I was just saying that about you.
Don't leave, Amy. You leave, I'm going to be sad. Just don't leave me, okay?
Okay, I'm going to sit in front of this computer for the rest of my life.
Don't leave. All right, so now, so you have a particular routine you do in the morning? Like, what's your daily routine? Do you have coffee every morning or
Unfortunately, I do. I got to try and get
okay.
off because that's not great for the vocal cords. It's dehydrating. I was off of it for a few months and then I got hooked again. So I'm hooked. But I'm going to tell you a trick. So dairy, I try to stay away from dairy as well because it's bad for your voice. So if you put a tablespoon of coconut oil in your coffee and mix it up in the blender and put some cinnamon in it, then it's kind of like a cappuccino without milk, and the coconut oil is really good for you.
Wow.
It's super tasty.
That's
Try
interesting.
it, and you tell me what you think. It's awesome.
That's it. I got the magic bullet, so I definitely that's pretty interesting.
Yeah. I love it. So now I'm super addicted to that because that's been my recent discovery.
So now at 21, like what wisdom do you offer to the world, Amy? And why do you laugh? Why did you laugh when I said that?
Don't let. I think in life there are times we're going to get depressed because we're going to reach for something and it's not going to happen, and it's okay to sit in it, or it's okay to feel that feeling, but don't sit in it and don't let your negativity waste your time, like take your years away from you. I read in the book Tuesdays with Maury, he was the one that I got that kind of wisdom of knowledge, because we're human. You got to feel it. You can't suppress those feelings, but just don't let it overtake you and possess you.
Okay, very cool. Okay, so my last question before plugs and stuff.
Okay.
Now, is there anything that I should have covered that I didn't cover that you want to make sure that is covered before we leave?
Buy my album? No, we already did that. No, you're amazing. Your interview is amazing. Like you're
just saying that.
And no, I'm not. I'm not a good liar. I'm Canadian. Oh yeah. And then my alter ego. Well, that'll be in the plugs. Candy Canadiana.
Yes, I'm putting everything in the plugs.
Yeah. No, I think you're phenomenal. You know what you're doing. And I'm so grateful. Thank you for all that research. I don't think I've ever met anybody that's done that much. So thank you.
You're just saying that. Okay, so the check. Just let me know where I need to. Where's my checkbook? Just let me know where I need to send this check to.
We're even, because you said some pretty nice things about me too. So there we go. I was going to send you a check.
That's no problem. Okay, so I know you already did plugs. AmyRivard.com is one of the sites. Where else can the world find a lovely and talented Amy?
You can find me on Twitter. It's Amy Rivard. On Instagram, Amy Rivard. Facebook is facebook.com, amy.rivard. And I'm on YouTube, but if you just, search Amy Rivard on YouTube, but technically the URL is youtube.com/Rivard Amy. If you Google me, you can find it. And all my music is on all of the digital mediums: RDIO, Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music, a bunch of them I don't even know. I just pay the money and it just goes out there. It's like, you can belong to all these stores. Oh, actually, which reminds me, I have to do that again. And then you just send them the money and then they put you on these stores, and I don't know. I don't even know if they're real stores. I don't know. I hope so. Otherwise, whatever.
It's awesome. Amy, it's definitely awesome. It took too long, but I'm glad you're here.
Oh, my alter ego. Her name is CandyCanadiana.com.
Yeah.
And she has a YouTube series called What's Up Canuck.
How often do you use her in terms of bring her out, if you will?
I haven't brought her out in maybe 5 years.
Will you bring her out soon?
I will. Her dress needs to be dry cleaned, but she's got a suitcase of clothing under my bed right now, so she's got a lot of stuff that needs to come out. She's coming out of the bed. I don't know.
Any upcoming shows in the city? Anything you got coming up?
Yes, June 12th.
See?
Is I'll be at Rockwood Music Hall.
You were just there?
Yep, I was just there. So I'll be back there June 12th, which is actually, today's March 12th. 3 months from today. So June 12th, I will be at Rockwood at 7 p.m., stage 1. I sing at Flute Midtown and Flute Gramercy as well. You can find those on my website, amyrivard.com. If anyone wants to update my website, make a new one for me and knows how to do that, make it flashier rather than the boring one I've created for myself, call me. And that's it for now. Looking to book some other gigs as well.
Very awesome. Amy.
Andrew.
You're awesome.
You're awesome.
Thank you so much for your time, and I'm sure we'll talk again in the near future.
Yay! Thank
you. So stay with me for 1 second, And we'll be right back, guys. Do you hear the music in my headset?
No.
Good. Okay, good.
Great. You're listening to music while you're talking to me?
Yeah, it's no, because what it is, it's I don't know, it's not motivational. It's like instrumental.
Oh, yeah.
It's like I'd call it focus music.
Oh, I like that. Maybe I need to put music in my life.
Because whenever I record, because I do a solo show, so whenever I record, I always want to have like an instrumental track that keeps me focused throughout the show, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's kind of lonely.
It's
but
meditative.
It works. Yeah, it works.
Meditative. That's awesome.
It's crazy, right? So it's not something. It's not hip hop, techno. It's something nice and mellow.
Yeah.
It's
See,
cool.
I thought you were just putting the music on to block me out because you don't really.
I want to hear you. No.
That's what I think.
No, we definitely want to hear you. That's why we're here.
When I'm on the subway, I put the music on. I'm like, oh, Jesus, I don't want to listen to that person win on their stupid game on their iPhone where it goes, ba-bing, ba-bing.
Okay, so what do you listen to when you're not listening to Amy Rivard music? What are you listening to?
I actually do listen to guided meditations on the subway.
Okay.
New York can be a very stressful, high-energy place. And so I'll put on my guided meditations. I love, when I first moved to New York, I was listening to Frou Frou and Imogene Heap. Because, you're always running around, and it was kind of like made me run. Because usually I am running from audition to job or whatever, and then makes it easier when you're running to make things on time.
You're listening to The Show Radio. Visit our blog at theshowradio.info. Subscribe and rate us on iTunes at theshowradio.info/iTunes. theshowradio.info/iTunes.